I still get nightmares. In fact, I get them so often I should be used to them by now. I'm not. No one ever really gets used to nightmares. For a while there, I tried every pill imaginable, anything to curb the fear. Excedrin PMs, melatonin, L-tryptophan, Valium, Vicodin, quite a few members of the Barbitol family. A pretty extensive list, frequently mixed, often matched with shots of bourbon, a few lung-rasping bong hits, sometimes even the vaporous confidence trip of cocaine. None of it helped. I think it's pretty safe to assume there's no lab sophisticated enough yet to synthesize the kind of chemicals I need. A Nobel Prize for the one who invents that puppy. I'm so tired. Steve's been stalking me for too long to remember. Inevitable, I suppose. Sadly, though, I'm not looking forward to the prospect. I say sadly because there was a time when I actually enjoyed sleeping. In fact, I slept all the time. That was before my friend Lude woke me up at 3 in the morning and asked me to come over to his place. Who knows? If I hadn't heard the phone ring, would everything be different now? I think about that a lot.
Hey Johnny, you up?
What the fuck, Lude? It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Remember that old man I was telling you about? The one on the first floor said he'd be dying soon?
What? Yeah.
He's dead, man.
And?
And I got the keys to his place from Flay's. Get over here. 80 fucking years old, alone in that pisshole. I don't want to end up like that. No wife, no kids, no nobody at all. Not even one fucking friend. Hey Haas, don't think young and squirting lots of cum guarantees you shit. Look at yourself working at a tattoo shop, falling for a stripper named Thumper.
Yeah.
So this old guy used to walk around this courtyard every morning and evening. And it's full of like 80 fucking stray cats. They just rub up against his legs and shit.
And?
Two things, Hoss. Not that they make much difference. The first peculiar thing were the cats. For the past couple months, they've been disappearing. By the time he died, they were all gone. I saw one with its head ripped off and another with its guts strewn all over the sidewalk. Mostly, though, they just vanished.
The fuck?
The second peculiar thing you'll see for yourself. Right next to the body, I find these gouges in the hardwood floor. A good 6 or 7 inches long. Very weird. But since the old man showed no sign of physical trauma, the cops just let it go.
Ever see yourself doing something in the past and no matter how many times you remember it, you still want to scream stop? Somehow redirect the action, reorder the present? Oh, what the fuck is that smell? That's what hit me first. It wasn't a bad smell, just incredibly strong. And it wasn't one thing either. It was extremely layered. Back then it had overwhelmed me, so much of it. Cloying, bitter, rotten, even mean. These days I can no longer remember the smell, only the reaction to it. Still, if I had to give it a name, I think I would call it the scent of human history. A composite of sweat, urine, shit, blood, flesh, and semen, as well as joy, sorrow, jealousy, rage, vengeance, fear, love, hope, and a whole lot more. What's important though is that the smell was complex for a reason. All the windows were nailed shut and sealed with caulking. The first entrance and courtyard doors were all storm-proofed. Even the vents were covered with duct tape. The old man wasn't afraid of the outside world. My best guess is that he sealed his apartment in an effort to retain the various emanations of his things and himself.
Hey, Hoss, come look.
Holy shit, you were right.
No, not that. Come here.
What did I know then? What do I know now? At least some of the horror I took away at 4 in the morning you now have before you. Waiting for you a little like it waited for me that night. Even without touching it, both of us slowly began to feel its heaviness, sense something horrifying in its proportions, its silence, its stillness, even if it did seem to have been shoved almost carelessly to the side of the room. I think now if someone had said to be careful, we would have. I know a moment came when I felt certain its resolute blackness was capable of anything. Maybe even slashing out, tearing up the floor, murdering Zampano, murdering us, maybe even murdering you. And then a moment passed, wondering in the way the unimaginable is sometimes suggested by the inanimate suddenly faded. The thing became a thing, so I took it home. As I discovered, there were reams and reams of it, endless snarls of words, sometimes twisting into meaning, sometimes into nothing at all, frequently breaking apart, always branching off into other pieces I'd come across later, on old napkins, the tattered edges of an envelope, once even on the back of a postage stamp. Everything and anything but empty. Each fragment completely covered with a creep of years and years of ink pronouncements, layered, crossed out, amended, handwritten, typed, legible, illegible, impenetrable, lucid, torn, stained, scotch taped, some bits crisp and clean, others faded, burnt or folded and refolded so many times that creases have obliterated whole passages of God knows what. Sense, truth, deceit, a legacy of prophecy or lunacy or nothing of the kind, and in the end achieving, designating, describing, recreating, finding your own words. I have no more, or plenty more, but why? And all to tell what?